up, an estimated 1,800 people died in the UK after being given contaminated blood transfusions between 1970 and 1991. This is what a report has found. The findings were published by the public inquiry into the scandal. It also found around 26,000 people were probably infected with hepatitis C after being given the donated blood during childbirth or a hospital operation. One person affected by the scandal, Mark Ward. Mark was born with haemophilia. He shared his experience with us before. He's back with us tonight. Evening to you, Mark.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. This report that was published today, it's a different figure to those who have died from infected blood in their haemophilia treatment, isn't it?
It is, yes. This report is all about statistics, and it isn't just focused on hepatitis C. It includes HIV, new variant CJD, and hepatitis B as well. But it's highlighting how those people who found themselves in hospital receiving a blood transfusion rather than the treatment for a bleeding disorder, the potential numbers of people that may have been infected.
Yeah, it's an estimate, right?
It is, yes, because we can never be 100% certain, unfortunately, because the inquiry into this, the infected blood inquiry this week, has actually heard terrible examples of negligent, in my mind, record keeping. So medical records disappearing, floods, fires, things being destroyed. It's terrible. But you've got somebody who, say, was rushed into hospital for surgery, given a pint of blood, saved their life, and they got through that incident, but they then later succumbed to something else or their injuries. That wouldn't have gone on their death certificate because nobody actually knew at the point in time to record it.
And you've told us your story before. For those people that didn't hear it, Mark, you were given contaminated blood.
I was given contaminated blood and blood products for my haemophilia, yes, as a child. It's a hereditary bleeding disorder, and the way that they treat that is by using a component, the protein that our body doesn't make is called factor VIII, and they take thousands of donations of blood, put them all in a big vat, mix them all up together. We're talking about potentially 60,000 bags of blood in one place, all mixed together. So this is where these viruses, you only needed one or two, and every single batch then made from that would be infected. And we're talking thousands and thousands of units being sent around the world.
Where does this go next, this story, Mark? Is it over?
No. I mean, we welcome these reports because these are experts that are looking at these statistics. And when they give their oral evidence to the inquiry to explain their report, it will help us, the people, to understand it better. But the real main thing, this is leading up to Sir Brian Langstaff, the chair of the Infected Blood Inquiry, his final report, which we hope will be next year. And the way things are looking, that our community, as you've been discussing all evening with the death of the Queen, we've got a grieving community, and this is really triggering. So when these reports come out and shows how things should have been done that weren't, and how many people we're talking about, and how things that people who should have been protected, there seems to be a lot of failures along the way, and I think the report would show that.
And the government agreed, it was last month, wasn't it, Mark, to pay compensation. Have people got that money yet? No,
not a penny yet so far. They told us by the end of October. So I don't know what the further delay is. They got told, we've been told that the living infected, like myself, and I use that term because that's what we're called, we would receive £100,000 by the end of October. And I haven't heard of anybody receiving a single penny yet. And that also includes the partners of those who have died. They would also receive the payment, but no monies have been paid out yet.
But to be fair, the deadline they've given is by the end of October, so you better get it soon.
It is, and of course, with what's happened, everything has ground to a halt. I'm not saying we use the death of Her Majesty as an excuse, but when people have been waiting 40 years for justice, to announce it and then say, right, well, we're going to give it you, but it's going to still take a few months. There are people, like I said to you the last time I was on your show, literally 10 minutes before coming on air, one of our campaigners passed away. People are not going to see justice. So as these delays go forward, people are still dying today that were harmed 40, 50 years ago by their NHS treatment.
Mark, thank you. We'll stay in touch with each other and we'll continue covering this story with you and others. And thank you for joining me this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.